with full coverage of the Auburn Tigers,
Touchdown, Auburn!
the Alabama Crimson Tide,
Off to the inside, intercepted Alabama. Touchdown,
and everything college and high school sports. Now, let's join Andy, Brett, Randy, and Luke for this edition of Sports Blitz Live.
Hello again, everyone, and welcome into Sports Blitz Live. I am Andy Graham alongside Brett Pritchard. We'll be with you for the next 2 hours, taking your phone calls, taking your comments, talking about everything going on in the world of sports, and a lot going on. Obviously, baseball season coming to a close. A couple more series left in that. The SEC softball tournament actually began or will begin tonight. I guess it did begin a little bit earlier this evening, and Auburn and Alabama will play tomorrow. Auburn won't play until the 11th, and it's still determined who they will play. So we'll talk about these things and much more. Obviously, we'd love to hear from you. 256-234-6221 is our number here. You can let us know what's on your mind if you'd like to bring up a new topic, or if you just want to dial us up on the Sports Blitz Facebook page. That is Sports with a Z, and you can comment away. We'll get to as many of those as we can throughout the night. Obviously, football season and football dominates the conversation. The transfer portal kind of coming to a close, so hopefully you won't see any more guys leaving. Now, grad transfers, that's a different story. You may see a few more of those. Auburn's still looking at a couple of wide receivers. I know Alabama got a commitment from a defensive back, I think from Louisiana.
That's right.
Played at Louisiana. Alabama got a transfer quarterback from Notre Dame. Auburn gets a transfer quarterback from Michigan State, Peyton Thorne. So,
Right.
Major League Baseball season going on, NBA playoffs going on. A lot to talk about. Brett, good to see you. Good to be back.
Yeah, it's been
on Sports Blitz.
Yeah, it is good to have you back, man. I'm telling you, it's been a couple months with you been out with some health issues and battling that, and glad to see that you made a recovery and you're back, man. So can't keep a good man down.
I'm not 100%, but I'm on my way.
Yeah, that's it. Can't keep a good man down, and that's very evident. But man, where I know yesterday on Auburn Blitz, everybody was excited to have you back, and it was good. And throughout the whole deal, everybody continuing to ask about you and send up prayers for you and all that. So glad you're back, man. It's a great time to get back in the saddle. There's a lot to talk about, and then usually when we head into the summertime, we kind of go, well, we got to fill time. I don't know that it's going to be the case this year, man. This summer is going to be crazy. I mean, because you still have people, once they got in the portal, I mean, they can still move around. And, when schools, you got to be enrolled. I know that's a big deal. But, there's so many moving pieces for Alabama and Auburn this year. And then I think media days will be interesting again. It's been kind of dead for the last few years because, again, with social media, you don't really look for breaking news at SEC media days. Everything's already out there with all the different recruiting services and things that people can get information with. But with the portal now and all the different changes and stuff, it's just going to make SEC media days relevant again to me and hear what these coaches have to say. And then Hugh Freeze will be back at SEC media days. And he's going to draw a monster crowd. Kirby Smart will be there having his program going for another national championship, a third in a row. Well, they are the favorite. I mean, the SEC media is going to vote just like this, if you want to write it down, right now. Georgia's going to win the East. Alabama's going to win the West. Georgia's going to beat Alabama in the SEC championship game, and that's how it's going to work out. Now, will Alabama have enough in the tank, or will they have had a good enough season to be able to overcome, losing in the SEC championship game?
Will they even win the West?
They'll win the West.
I
think they'll win the West. I think they're the better team out there. I don't know who would beat them right now. I don't know who I would have beaten them. It dang sure wouldn't be Texas A&M. LSU might have a chance, but I still am not 100% bought in. I think Brian Kelly's a good coach. I think there's going to have a lot of talent. I'm still not bought into that. Ole Miss, Mississippi State suck. I think we're going to be in the middle somewhere.
You think Ole Miss sucks?
I think Ole Miss sucks. I do,
Okay.
man. I mean, Lane Kiffin. What? He had
a 10-win season.
Look.
They
Maybe that's a little
regressed
harsh.
a little bit.
That's a little harsh, but I'm just saying that they can't get over the hump. They're not going to get. They're not. Are you ever?
Who's going to play
Do
quarterback?
you ever think they're going to win the West going into the season? Has anybody ever picked them? All right, since '92, have they ever made one?
I think at some point, Ole Miss will actually make the SEC title game. It may not.
I don't think there'll be an
lifetime.
SEC title game for them to make.
You don't think so?
I don't think. I think he'll go down in history never making one. Mississippi State. They are horrific.
It's a terrible situation.
It's a terrible
Lose your
situation,
coach.
and then they hired who they hired, which is not going to work out. So,
Can you run Can you run that offense, the Mike Leach offense, without Mike Leach?
can you run any offense with the talent they have? Okay, so, and I know people watching go, well, they beat Auburn last year. Look, throw out last year for Auburn, please. And even the year before, if you want to. If you want to take the good with the bad, we had some good 2 years ago. We had terrible last year. Throw all that out. Even as bad as we were, we should have beat Mississippi State, and we kind of blew it. But, again, we did beat Texas A&M, and there were some bright spots in there. But for the most part, and then the only team I hadn't talked about yet is Arkansas. Arkansas, 8 wins, man.
They're not going to win the West.
They're not going to win the West. So, goes back to where we started. Alabama's going to win the West, and they're going to play Georgia. And how will they play against Georgia? I don't know that it's a given Georgia will win the game. I think they'll be favored. And if Alabama, I don't really know who cannot. They've got a tougher schedule than Georgia.
It depends on the quarterback situation.
It does.
Alabama.
But Alabama can get away, Andy, with not having as good a quarterback than some of the rest of us in this league because of the talent they have around him, whoever him is going to be. And, look, Ty Simpson and Jalen Milroe are pretty good. I don't know about Buckner. I don't know that Buckner beats out either one of those guys. We'll see. I know that Nick Saban felt the need after what he saw in spring to go get somebody else. And you look at it from a whole, though, they're going to be good enough talent-wise, I think, defensively and all, to be better than everybody they play. Doesn't mean they win the games, but they'll be better. And, again, how many slip-ups do they have this year? Do they lose to Tennessee again? Can somebody else sneak up?
Texas coming in.
But Texas is that. They have a loaded roster, and they've got to travel to Tuscaloosa. But anyway, what will Alabama's record be at the end of the year? And if they only have one loss going into that SEC championship game, and they lose, depending on how everybody else does in the country, will they get the nod to get in there? Because last year, they were making the case and the push, and the committee didn't really give them an opportunity, and they picked who they picked, TCU, and who else was it? Cincinnati. It wasn't Cincinnati, was it?
No.
Who was it?
Who? Georgia,
Michigan.
TCU.
Well, Michigan made it, and but
Michigan and TCU played.
right. So, but anyway, it was TCU that got in over
Ohio
them.
State, Georgia, and Ohio.
Yeah, that's it. Okay, so here's the deal. I think the media said, "Boy, we screwed up," or the committee said, "We screwed up majorly putting TCU in this thing." They got mutilated. I'm talking about mutilated. So
it's not pretty.
It's not. So I don't think that was a popular outcome for them, and I think they'll always side now with a school that's in a more prominent conference. So with all that being said, I think Georgia has a path paved for them, Andy, which is scary for all of us in the SEC, to three-peat. Now, me and Gary Harris talked about it a few weeks ago. He said, Brett, it is hard to three-peat. And it is, because Nick Saban's had some great teams that fell just short of that and had opportunities to do it. But for the most part, we'll see how it all plays out. That's the fun of why you play the game. And nobody gave Auburn a chance, and you know where, to go to the national championship game 2013, coming off literally the worst season in mine and your life, I think, in Auburn history in 2012.
No question.
So nobody foresaw that. If you go back to the media, they had us picked dead last that year, coming off
rightfully so.
Right, and coming in with a new coach, terrible season the year before, really kind of odd.
You got a defensive back playing quarterback.
Right, and it oddly feels similar to this in a way that you just really don't know what Auburn's going to run on the field, because this offense is going to look totally different. I mean, you're really saved Jarquez Hunter. It may be all new faces out there. I'm talking about complete and total all the way across the board.
That's going to be the key, the offensive line. Can those guys – are they solid to upper tier? And can they, get some –
I think they're serviceable in the fact that they're a major upgrade from what we had, and I think they're scrappy enough to have what Jason said a few weeks ago on the show. They're going to be are they all SEC? Probably not, but are they together as a unit cohesive enough? Can they build chemistry enough to make Auburn a competitive team in this league? He said, you bet. And that's the way, again, you look at it from a portal standpoint, Auburn was able to go out and get, 3 of the top 15 offensive linemen in the portal. Now, again, that is what it is. It's, you're going out to fill needs and all, but if you're going to go get somebody, might as well get the best of what's out there.
Yeah.
And so they were able to do that. And so –
well, it's an upgrade. There's no question
God.
it's an upgrade.
It's like everybody some Auburn fans in an uproar about going and get Peyton Thorne. I said, well, which one would you rather have? TJ Finley or Peyton Thorne? I'm not saying Peyton Thorne comes in and takes the job, but I'm saying which one would you rather have based on the numbers that if you hadn't seen either one of them play, who would you pick? I think everybody's picking Peyton Thorne.
Well, think about this. Peyton Thorne the last 2 years has thrown 46 touchdown passes.
Exactly.
3 guys combined at Auburn the last 2 years threw 25.
Enough said. So, again, Peyton Thorne gives Auburn a third great option in that room. I think Auburn's got 3 pretty good quarterbacks in the room now. Holden Geriner, we haven't really been able to see anything out of him yet. In fairness to him, he hasn't had an opportunity. We were hoping to see some of him in A-Day. The weather was horrific, and so he wasn't able to play or really able to throw the ball like we wanted to see him throw it. Robbie Ashford, man, he's getting coached up now. He's physical. He's got all the tools. I tip my hat for him, gutting it out and doing what he did last year. And, I really thought Robbie Ashford got better as the season went along. And then now you add Peyton Thorne in here. Why wouldn't you be excited to have – hey, look, Georgia's got 3 5-stars battling it out over there at quarterback. They're having to replace Stetson Bennett. They're all look, from a talent standpoint, Georgia's getting an upgrade at the quarterback position. Now, will they perform better than what Stetson Bennett did? That's yet to be seen. Yeah. But from a talent, the scary thing is athletically, whoever they stick out there is going to be an upgrade over Stetson Bennett.
Up against our first break here on Sports Blitz Live. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more right after this.
Hey, I'm Jeff Burt, General Manager here at Greenway Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Anniston, where it's Ram Truck Month. Save up to $12,176 off Ram 1500 Crew Cab Bighorn. That's a savings of 20%. Or select 1.9% interest for 72 months and save over $13,500 in interest. So come see us for all these deals and more here at Greenway Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Anniston.
What's the verdict?
Can't fix your heat pump. Need a new one.
Uh-oh. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking Daikin.
Call on Kevin Kill in Sunshine Heating and Air at 256-825-4849, Central Alabama's premier Daikin dealer.
So what's he thinking?
Oh, he's thinking Daikin.
Daikin, one of the top selling in the world.
Now I'm thinking Daikin.
Daikin. Comfort for life.
Russell Do-It Center and building supply stores have the tools and materials to get the job done right, whether you're a professional contractor or just a weekend do-it-yourselfer. With everyday customer conveniences like a drive-through lumberyard, price match promise, and our best rewards program, each of our 9 locations offer top brands and building materials like lumber, hardware, tools, paint, lawn and garden, and much more. Visit today and see what Russell Do-It Center and Building Supply can help you build tomorrow.
Lake Martin Mobile Detailing is the #1 auto and boat detailing company in Central Alabama. Don't trust your boat or vehicle to just anybody. Hire the professionals. Top-of-the-line ceramic coating, detailing, gel coat restoration, and paint correction gives you the options to take care of your vehicle the right way. Located at 702 McCarty Road in Dadeville, Lake Martin Mobile Detailing will have you riding in style. Call them today at 256-794-2328 for Superior Automotive and Boat Detailing.
Farmers and Merchants Bank of Dadeville is building a foundation of strength and trust in the entire Lake Martin community. With our modern branch in Dadeville and caring, attentive staff, we've established Farmers and Merchants Bank as a reliable friend to your banking needs. Whether it's just a savings or checking account or any commercial, auto, or real estate loan, Farmers has local decision making to build a relationship with you and your needs. Farmers and Merchants Community Bank. Strength, service, community.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Bice. Bice Motors.
Welcome back, everyone, to Sports Blitz Live. Andy and Brett here with you, just getting started on tonight's program. Thank you so much to JR's Sports Bar and Grill. Wonderful place to have lunch or dinner right here in downtown Alexander City. Great food, great service, great atmosphere. Go and check out JR's Sports Bar and Grill. Also, Sunshine Heating and Air for all your heating and cooling needs. Getting up into the mid-80s, getting up to the high 80s.
Warm already out there.
You better make sure your air conditioning
Hey, we've
is
actually
working
had
in
a
any good
spring
order.
this year.
We did.
I mean, we've had a spring. It's been cool at night for the last few weeks, which has been great, been enjoyable. So, not cold, Andy.
No.
Cool. Okay, not
Can
cold.
I
not ice. So,
can I take a little sidebar here?
why not?
I want to give you credit.
Oh gosh.
Okay, for something.
Oh Lord.
It may have been one of the best lines I've ever heard on our program
I'm
or
scared.
any other program.
What did I say? I'm scared to know.
Gus Malzahn could not recruit an offensive lineman to a buffet.
That just kind of rolled out.
That's as good as it gets.
And that one wasn't written down or planned. That one just kind of rolled out of the mouth. Sometimes, I guess if you talk as much as we do, sometimes things come out that are a little funny. Well, he couldn't. Is it true? Is it a true statement?
True statement.
I think that's what makes it funny.
All you can eat buffet.
All you can eat buffet. Offensive lineman saying no dice. I can't do that. Hey, I want to go back. Georgia's quarterbacks, Carson Beck, Brock Vandegrift, and Gunnar Stockton. Carson Beck, Brock Vandegrift both were the number one quarterbacks in their class. Okay, so this isn't like they got. Hey man, we got some pretty good guys.
They redshirt freshmen.
I don't know. I know Brock Vandegrift is. I'm not sure about Gunnar Stockton. Carson Beck's really was the backup last year. That's why there was so much speculation about Brock Vandegrift getting in the transfer portal when the season was over. But he did not, and he was able to. And then so everybody kind of waited through the spring, and you're like, well, as soon as the spring's over, he's going to – and then he comes out and says he's going to ride it out another year. So they're not all playing. And it really leans toward Carson Beck right now. So you got two phenomenal quarterbacks who are going to be standing over there holding clipboards, which I guess that's fine. That's the way it used to be in the old days.
Yeah.
If you didn't win the job, you had to stand over there and be a backup. So nobody's got a better quarterback room on paper than Georgia. Again, that didn't translate into wins, but, you know, you got to like your chances. Anthony says, I have Tennessee beating Georgia in Knoxville next season. Georgia had to pay, what did they pay, $500,000 fine? Maybe it wasn't that much. $50,000. It was something. I don't know what it was for the SEC found that Georgia had manipulated the turf at Sanford Stadium, and it prohibited Tennessee's offense from doing so. Do you think, and this was just a few weeks ago, do you think Georgia gives a flying rip about that fine?
No.
Sitting here in the month of April and May, they get, oh, hey, by the way, we're going to fine y'all. Oh, okay, we'll continue to look at our national championship trophy and SEC championship trophy while all of y'all over there whine about the way we cut our grass. So nobody cares. I don't know. Look, Hendon Hooker having, again, they've got a good team, and I think Josh Heupel made some tremendous strides last year for Tennessee. But I'll believe it when I see it. It was a sloppy game in Athens. It was raining. In Tennessee, if they're playing good football, it could be a tough one for Georgia.
Milton going to be the quarterback? The transfer from Michigan?
I think possibly. So
I mean, he looked good in the bowl game.
He did. Yeah. I mean, big kid, got a cannon for an arm.
Yeah.
We'll see how it plays out. He said, but Georgia's still going to win the East. Tennessee will find a way to lose to South Carolina, Florida, or Kentucky, somebody like that. Mark said, will Ashford end up being the 2023 version of 2010 Cody Burns? That's a good question, Mark. I don't think so. I think he's going to stay in the quarterback room. I think that's what he wants to be. You know, when you ever make that move, I think that's pretty much it for you. Now, I think you can move from another position to quarterback like Nick Marshall. But I think when you stop being a quarterback and you accept, okay, I want to go be a tight end, or I want to go –
I just want to play.
I just want to be on the field like Cody Burns. And Cody Burns, look, you know, contributed majorly. You know, caught a touchdown pass in the national championship game, and, you know, I thought did some pretty good things at wide receiver. Still a good athlete coming out of the state of Arkansas. But I don't think so, Mar. I'm going to side with no on that. I think that he'll stay in the fight. I'm not sure. Again, he won't be used in some form or fashion at quarterback. Again, here we go with the two quarterback system thing. And again, if you got two, you got none, right? Mm-hmm. Most of the time. Georgia may end up with that. They may be in a situation where, you know, a Carson Beck and a Brock Vandegrift or Gunnar Stockton or a combination come in for different things. Again, I know coaches don't like to do that. I think you have to keep again, as much consistency as possible. I think that helps your offense, but who knows, man?
Well, I mean, just a few years ago, that was the big mark on Kirby Smart. He couldn't manage quarterbacks. You know, he had a 5-star on the bench. You know, didn't win the starting job and ends up transferring to Ohio State. Now he's in the NFL.
Look, exactly. And
mismanagement, though, of the quarterback position. He had everything else down pat, but something about that quarterback position he could never manage.
Yeah, I mean, you're right, and that's the most crucial position on the field. Mark came back and said, no doubt I want to win, but based on what I've seen, I could ride with Ashford. Do you mean – I think you meant to say I couldn't ride with Ashford. I don't know. You may mean that, Mark. Just let me know if that's correct or not. Look, I think if Ashford develops and underneath the tutelage of Hugh Freeze and the offense, I think we could see. But Peyton Thorne's already proven he's a 60+%, you know, pass completion guy, and you know more toward the 63-64%.
And that's getting better every year. If that holds true, I mean, it'll even be better this year.
And that'll be the highest. I don't remember what Jarrett Stidham's completion percentage was in 17.
It was probably, I think it was around 65.
Somewhere around there.
64,
So
65.
he will be the best we've had since then.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, from a numbers standpoint.
Yeah. Up against another break here on Sports Blitz Live. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more right after these messages.
Hey, I'm Jeff Burke, General Manager here at Greenway Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Anniston, where it's Ram Truck Month. Save up to $12,176 off Ram 1500 Crew Cab Bighorn. That's a savings of 20%. Or select 1.9% interest for 72 months and save over $13,500 in interest. So come see us for all these deals and more here at Greenway Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Anniston.
Growing your business isn't just one thing, it's a million little things. Should you lease, rent, or own? How fast can you get that part? Does it fit the budget? That's what your local CAT dealer is here for. With expert advice, flexible financing, and industry-leading equipment, you can get the job done, day after day. Visit ThompsonCat.com, their compact equipment provider.
You want the best opportunity to be successful in life. You deserve that opportunity. Well, you just happens to be in our motto, central to you, central to your success. Your future is right now. Don't wait. Make your dreams a reality by enrolling at Central Alabama Community College. Register today at cacc.edu.
Looking for an attorney you can trust for your real estate closings? Wisdom Law Firm at Lake Martin has you covered. Your real estate transactions are fast, convenient, and professional every step of the way. Wisdom Law is certified and licensed by the American Land and Title Association and approved by all local lenders. Visit Wisdom Law Firm at 6366 Highway 49 in Dadeville or at their Auburn location at 2353 Bent Creek Road. No communication concerning a lawyer's legal services shall be published or broadcast unless it contains the following language, which shall be clearly legible or audible as the case may be. No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
Alex City Internal Medicine and Nephrology and Weight Loss Center provides optimum care for the whole person. Dr. Dimo Popov specializes in the prevention and diagnosis of high blood pressure, kidney disease, diabetes, and acute and chronic conditions. Our weight loss clinic offers lipo shots and a guide to healthy weight loss. Alex City Internal Medicine and Nephrology and Weight Loss Center, where lifestyle changes are made.
For more than 40 years, Ingram Equipment Company has helped companies, towns, and cities with their dirtiest, most challenging jobs by providing the very best equipment and by helping them keep in tip-top working condition. IEC represents leading manufacturers such as Heil garbage truck bodies, Timco sweepers, Step pothole patchers, and many more. We proudly support all athletes and teams that compete across the state and wish them good luck this year. Ingram Equipment Company, ingramequipment.net.
Welcome back, everyone, to Sports Blitz Live. Andy and Brett here with you. About 30 more minutes left in the first hour of tonight's program. Thank you so much for being with us. Again, we're talking about what Georgia's going to be like. Their product, Alabama. How about Auburn? New quarterback, we're talking about Peyton Thorne.
Yeah, right.
It's not an automatic that he wins the job. Robbie Ashford is going to have a lot to say about it. I didn't really realize it until I looked at the numbers. He ran for 916 yards.
Well, he couldn't do well. I mean,
but now he had 200 negative.
Do you remember the Arkansas game? We lined up and it was like, hey, we aren't throwing the ball.
Yeah,
and it got to that point. That was the most simplistic. It drive you crazy. It was like. And here's the stat of the year for Auburn last year. Let me bring this up since we're bringing up fun stuff. Do you remember how many passing yards LSU had in the second half?
In the second half.
Against Auburn. And won the game. And won the game. And this is how many passing yards
in Auburn.
In Auburn. And won the game after we were up, 17-0?
I think so.
All right. 5. They won an SEC road game with 5 passing yards. So, anyway, to bring back another non-joyous fact of last year for Auburn, that's when you knew it was pretty rough. So, but anyway, and that was the half that actually Robbie Ashford looked like a pro court. He was throwing the ball all over the place, and then we went in the shell in the second half.
Yeah.
It was like we couldn't score or move. I don't think we could even get a first down in the second half. But LSU couldn't either.
Well, that was the MO for Brian Harsin his whole time at Auburn.
And
no second half adjustments.
And have you ever seen a worse win than Missouri?
No.
I've never seen a game end where you go, I feel sorry for the other team. They outplayed us so bad, and we somehow they fumbled going into the end zone, like a walk-in touchdown. Dude fumbles and we recover it after they miss a chip shot field goal to win the game.
Yeah,
I mean a slap chip shot field goal to win the game
with a good kicker,
with an outstanding kicker. But
yeah,
I mean,
nobody caused the fumble.
No, he just dropped it.
There was no call to do anything with the ball but just.
Well, of course
running.
we didn't cause the fumble. We didn't have anybody around him. You got to actually be trying to tackle somebody, and that's how bad it was last year. I mean, that year will go down as one of the most bizarre years. I know we've had turmoil in the past.
Ignominious.
Oh man, Carnell, needs a tip of the hat for coming in and salvage. Winning the A&M game at home was big, and should have won the Mississippi State game, and really kind of rallied the troops. And I know Alabama ended up kind of distancing themselves in that game. First half was good. Mm-hmm. Robbie Ashford made a really good run and scored. And we went ahead, and that was considering what kind of team we had that we were taking up there. I was like, the fact that we're actually leading this game is a miracle. So, but especially with a quarterback like Bryce Young on the other side. So, Mark said, I like Ashford's attitude and his drive to win. So, yes, I could get behind Ashford. It'd be very likely the transfer might be better, but we've seen worse than what we saw out of Ashford last year. Mosley comes to mind. Yeah, Clint Mosley. But we've had some stinkers.
Well, again, what does Auburn's offense want to be? Do we want to be 60-40 pass? Do we want to be 60-40 run?
I'm going to go out on a limb, Andy, and say we're not going to have an identity crisis on offense like we've had with the last two head coaches. Gus Malzahn had the worst identity crisis of any coach we ever had. Brian Harsin, I think, kind of knew what he wanted to do, but
just didn't know how to do it.
Didn't know how to do it. And then you got Hugh Freeze, who has already proven what he wants to do at multiple places. And I think he already – look, there's not going to be any tarrying on who and how he wants to do things. He's already laid that out. And so I think he felt good about who he's going to get with Peyton Thorne.
Well, if that's true, David and I were talking about that Monday. And, through David's sources, we looked at 9 quarterbacks in the portal. Yep. 9. And Hugh Freeze came out and said, point blank, I haven't seen anybody in the portal yet where I said, we got to have him.
Right.
When Peyton Thorne came in.
Well, they ramped it up.
He said, he was more involved in his recruitment.
While Casey Thompson was on campus. Casey Thompson was in Auburn when Peyton Thorne went in the portal, and it was like, oh, hey, man, have a good trip back to your home. We got to go. So,
enjoy a steak on us.
Exactly. So, and I don't think Casey Thompson would have been a bad ad either. But Peyton Thorne's numbers, again, I know the anticipation of summer camp and all that will, it'll be here before we know it. And so we'll get to see kind of what it's made out of. Also to add into the mystery of the Zach Calzada saga, who ends up at Incarnate Word.
Really?
And that's where he will be quarterbacking next year. So
if he wins the job.
If he can beat out whoever their quarterback is. But that's we have had some bizarro stuff, man. Go on.
Oh, there's no question about it. Well, there's one thing that I'm fairly certain of. That's that Peyton Thorne is the best passer in the quarterback room. I don't think there's any question.
Oh, sure.
And I think he's more nimble than people realize. I think he can run. He's quick, and I just hope he's not running for his life. That'll be the difference.
And hopefully,
if he has somebody to throw to,
hopefully he won't be. You know, that's. I'm hoping that's I told Randy today. I said I'm hoping this offensive line, just from the experience and some of the things that we've seen, you know, from where they played previously, that these guys will be, you know, a formidable bunch. You know, now again they've got to learn everything. You got a new quarterback possibly in Peyton Thorne. You got basically a brand new offensive line. You're looking at maybe 3 to 4 brand new receivers on the field. I mean, all these guys have got to get in here in a matter of a few weeks leading into the season and gel and get on the same page, man. I mean, yeah, I mean, in silos individually, yeah, you're bringing in this guy and this guy looks good and all this, but they got to do that and then put it all together with what Hugh Freeze and that offensive, you know, staff want to do. You know, that's a lot easier said than done. So,
well, I think the schedule sets up.
It does
to take advantage of that.
It does, and we got to go to Cal early, and so
which is not a
world.
I mean, that's a game that you look at and say Auburn should be favored by probably
14.
I was going to say double digits.
Well, you probably won't be.
No.
We might be a
10.
I was going to say maybe a 6 to 7. Point favorite, but Cal's not a good program right now, and but again, you know, traveling out there, and you know, we'll kind of see how that plays out. But you're right, the front end of the schedule, you know, for Alabama, you know, they've got, again, they've had the luxury of having a Bryce Young back there at signal caller, and 2 years ago, the wide receivers, we had a comment on Auburn Blitz today. It said, do, you know, the 84 stars around you make you a better quarterback? Well, of course it does. The better talent obviously helps, but when you take a step down, and Luke's even said this, Alabama's receiving corps took a step down last year. And so Bryce Young, the receivers he was throwing to 2 years ago, you know, weren't the receivers he was throwing to last year, and you could tell. He was still making the same plays, but he didn't have the guys making the plays for him.
Alabama's offensive line has taken a step back too the last 2 or 3 years.
It has.
It's not that road grader bunch that they had back.
It kind of showed you how good, and it was shown in the draft, how good Derek Hall really was, and Kobe Wood too. I mean, up front we were pretty formidable on the ends 2 years ago against them, and Alabama struggled blocking those guys, man, all night long. Gave up a bunch of sacks.
No doubt. Up against another break here, but don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more right after this.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with a service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Bice Motors.
Hey, honey, it's Mom. Just wanted to call and check in, see how everything's going. You'll probably say not to worry. Everything is great. But we miss you. I'll call you back later.
No. Tell me everything. Everything's great. I love it here.
This is Joseph Dean with Alabama Funeral Homes. As many of you are aware, we had a fire that significantly damaged our facilities. We are in the process of getting those rebuilt. We apologize for any inconvenience this may have caused the families that we serve. I want you to know that we are capable of handling all of your needs at Frederick Dean Funeral Home of Opelika, which will be servicing Alabama Funeral Homes families. We can be reached at our same number, 256-896-4502, or by email at joseph@alabamafuneralhomes.com.
You've dreamed about the perfect house, a place to call your own, and a place to not only stretch out, but to grow. Auto Owners protects your house because to you, it's home. That's simple human sense. Happy to help, man. I was just over there talking to myself anyway.
Hey guys, this is Nate Paz with Airport Motors.
I'm Connor Branch with Fairway Auto Brokers in Opelika, Alabama.
And this is your first ever Lake Martin Summer Car Blitz.
That's right, Lake Martin. Airport Motors and Fairway Auto Brokers is teaming up for the very first Lake Martin Summer Car Blitz. Make sure to check out either website for the very best selection of pre-owned luxury trucks, SUVs, and sedans in East Alabama. Get pre-approved in minutes online and make sure to use the keyword Summer Blitz in the comments section for $500 off internet price. That's keyword Summer Blitz.
WF Cabinetry in Alex City has immediate openings for first and second shift production roles in addition to immediate openings for Class A CDL drivers with the ability to be at home weekly. We are ready for you to join our family and grow with us. Prior cabinet experience is always welcome. Second shift offers a flexible 10-hour, 4-day work schedule, giving you a great work-life balance right here at home. WF Cabinetry offers excellent health insurance and 401k benefits, as well as an employee purchase discount with daily production bonus opportunities. You can apply in person at 2212 Airport Boulevard in Alexander City or call 256-234-7900.
Welcome back, everyone, to Sports Blitz Live on this Tuesday evening. Andy and Brett here with you up until 9 o'clock tonight. Thank you so much for all of you out there joining us. Can I tell you a little bit about some SEC dominance?
Tell us about it.
Some SEC dominance. Heading into 2023, the SEC is riding 4 consecutive national titles by 3 different teams. It's riding a streak of 17 consecutive years of having the most players selected in the NFL draft. It also has had this one, 19 teams in the past 17 national championships.
Look, I mean, it's without a doubt, unquestionable, that the SEC has sprinted away from everybody else, including the Big Ten.
Yeah.
You know, you take Ohio State out, and the Big Ten's been pretty worthless. Michigan has come up, but when they get in crunch time, they get their doors. I mean, they couldn't even beat TCU in the, you know, TCU made it to the championship game and then got just obliterated. Now, Ohio State played Georgia very well. Ohio State has been the lone nemesis for the SEC, or the more, I guess, consistent foe that would you would consider.
One that can beat anybody.
Well, they are. Well, Penn State can come down here and whip our tail.
Well,
I mean,
I'm talking about in championships.
Well, no, in championships,
playoff,
right. And but when you get in that championship level in the playoffs, Ohio State's the only one that can even be mentioned. Again, Michigan can get there, but the year before they got killed by Georgia, and then they turn around and lose this year to TCU. And but the SEC, that what you just read off, just solidifies what the SEC's done in comparison to everybody else. It's not fair. And look, we already know, and again, this will be the final year of the 14. We'll go to 12. And that'll be interesting to see how many SEC teams get in there, because to me, only more SEC teams will get in, which will make it tougher on everybody else. But if you look at it from the standpoint of, if you had to pick 4 teams right now to go to the playoffs, who you going to pick? I'm picking Georgia, probably Alabama finds a way to get in. So there's 2 SEC teams of the 4. Who else you going to pick? It's probably going to be Ohio State or Clemson, possibly, who it's been, or Oklahoma, or maybe even USC now. That would be the ones I would pick to fill the other 2 slots. And I feel pretty confident Ohio State will probably take one of those slots. So the last slot comes down to, is Clemson formidable enough now? It looks like they've taken a few steps back. Florida State's supposed to be really good this year. Does this year Florida State vaults themselves back to the top of the ACC? We'll see. But, you know, Oklahoma, man, they ain't been – I mean, gosh. I mean, they were mediocre at best. So
not good.
So – and USC can't stop anybody. That's Lincoln Riley's mantra, man. You got Oklahoma there multiple times, but couldn't play defense. Didn't play any defense last year against against Utah. And then gets beat by Tulane. in the Cotton Bowl. So I mean, that's what you're looking at. There's not really many to pick from, Andy, in the whole scheme of college football. That's the sad part about it.
In the past 4 years, the SEC is 14-2 in New Year's Six bowl.
Guess
games.
what? We're one of the 2 losses.
No, we're
Yeah, we are.
no, not a.
Oh,
Not
you
the last
didn't
4
go.
years.
You didn't go back far enough.
We did. Ole Miss.
Ole
when Matt
Miss.
Corral got hurt.
Right.
And I think Baylor beat them. And
It
I
was
can't
Baylor.
remember who the other one was. I think maybe LSU. I forget. But anyway, the other conferences: Big 10's 5-4, Big 12's 5-4, Pac-12's 1-4. The ACC is 1-6.
And the lone win has to be
got to be Clemson.
All right. So you look at. So we want to. So your Big 10 fans out there, if you want to even say, "Oh, we're just as good," no, you're not. I mean, 14-2 versus 5-4. First of all, we got more wins than you got appearances. Okay, so let's just stop there.
Yeah.
And then it's the SEC and everybody else. Andy, look, during the COVID year when the Pac-12 and the Big 12 wanted to shut college football down and just say we're not going to do it, the SEC said, y'all can. We're going to play each other. We're not going to skip a year. We're going to keep going. We're going to figure out a way to do it. We may have to do some tweaking and all. We may not let everybody in the stadium, but we're going to play football. And we'll do what we got to do to make it. And when the SEC started playing, and the ACC said, well, we're going to play too. And the Big Ten said, well, we're going to play. And then it was like, oh, crap. Well, we better get in. We better start playing too. And you remember the Pac-12 started their season so late. Nobody cared anyway.
Yeah.
But that's what the SEC does. You're not going to tell the SEC, no other conference is going to tell the SEC what to do. They're going to set the bar. They're going to set the standard, and that's the way it's always going to be. They're going to set the standard for whatever happens moving forward in college football, Andy, because this is where college football is determined. You just put the stats out there. Everybody else is trying to make some noise. They can't make any noise comparable to this.
It's getting drowned out, for sure. The SEC champion has played in the national title game 16 of the last 17 years. The only other time, 2014, Alabama lost in the semis to Ohio State.
That's exactly right. And that was the 4 seed Ohio State. Ohio State was, that was Ezekiel Elliott and the Cardin.
The old shotgun, but what was it?
Are we talking about the quarterback?
Yeah.
The big, tall, the freshman?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you remember it was
he wore 12. They called it 12 gauge or something.
But, and showed out. This was third-string quarterback.
Yeah, that's right.
So that was kind of.
Has anybody heard from him since?
No. Mark said in 2 of the years, the top 2 SEC were in the playoffs, so our third best team was in a top bowl game. That's true. John said, good to see you back, Andy. He said they have struggled, and I mean struggled while you were out.
I know it.
No doubt about that.
I couldn't stand it any longer. I had to come in right.
You're like, dude, I cannot watch that train wreck anymore. But SEC in baseball, in softball, in golf. I mean, Vanderbilt's number 1 team in golf right now in the country. In tennis, Florida. Who else you want that? What sport? Gymnastics. I mean, Oklahoma's won it. I mean, I think they've won the last 2.
But Florida, Auburn, Alabama, Georgia, all have been. For the last decade. 2 decades.
I mean, as a whole, the number of teams have been more than other conferences. So, I mean, there's no sport where we're not better than everybody else.
Oklahoma, by the way, 49-1 women's softball.
God, man. Everybody else just playing for second.
Good.
I mean,
it
is.
They are good. They are.
That
good.
woman right there.
Whew.
And then
she coming to the SEC. We got to take a break, but we'll be back with the final segment in the first hour of tonight's program. Don't you go anywhere.
Ladies and gentlemen, the story you're about to hear is true, and the names have been changed because Brubaker Motors has sold to Sons Automotive. You heard right. Brubaker Kia is now Sons Kia of Montgomery. Furthermore, Sons Automotive is a family business with dealerships throughout the Southeast. The name Sons Automotive is synonymous with trust, and they care about the communities they're a part of. They're excited to serve the River region, and in the interest of justice, you will be served a sentence of big savings. Sons Kia of Montgomery, family owned, family driven.
You don't have to ask who, what, or why. Who's Diner is the go-to place for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Conveniently located at the corner of Highway 22 and 280 in Alex City, Who's Diner offers the best meals and the best deals in town. Try our fresh, made-from-scratch pancakes, chicken salad, Philly cheesesteak, or the Who Burger. It doesn't get any better than who? Who's Diner, of course, on the corner of Highway 22 and 280. Who's hungry? The same professionals you've trusted with your urgent care is now your primary health provider, Main Street Family Care. We provide annual physical exams as well as monitoring health conditions such as high blood pressure, diabetes, asthma, and more. All major insurances accepted, Medicaid, Medicare, and have self-pay options to accommodate everyone. See us in Alex City, just across from Walmart. Your care is our primary concern.
Main Street Family Urgent Care. Heal better, feel better fast.
Coastal Construction Design is the area's storm specialist experts and offers free roof inspections absolutely free to assess your needs. Their roofing experts get your home or commercial needs handled from start to finish. They have worked with all major insurance sources for decades, and they are permitted and approved for Lake Martin. Coastal Construction Design also handles exterior restoration, including siding and gutters. They are also a GAF certified contractor. Visit coastalconstruction.pro or call 251-215-3429. Coastal Construction Design. All things roofing from start to end.
Why is Sarah Automotive Group on Highway 280 in Sylacauga the place for the best deals on your new ride? 3 compelling reasons. 1. With 3 full new car dealers on one lot, you get the best in comparison and incentives on Fords, Hondas, and Nissans. Unmatched selection. 2. Sarah pays over market value for your trade to maintain East Central Alabama's best pre-owned vehicle selection and sales. And 3. The Sarah Automotive price won't be beat and delivers lower payments and huge value on your next buy. Shop online or on Highway 280 in Sylacauga.
Welcome back, everyone, to the final segment in the first hour of tonight's program. Thank you so much for all of you out there being with us. You know, you and Randy talked about something today I kind of want to hit on. You brought up, was it LSU?
The money.
2016,
the money. Yeah, the money, yeah.
You know, the how much money the football program generated. And that's, I think even Vandy makes money.
They do because of the split.
Yeah.
I mean, the amount of money that the SEC divides up from their contracts with ESPN, SEC Network.
But in every other sport, I mean, basketball will make money or break even, and a lot of baseball programs are probably losing money. It's
well, LSU's baseball team made $500,000.
I bet since Auburn has been selling out the last 3 years, I bet we've been breaking even
at least.
But my point was, we always talk about, well, when is this? Eventually we're going to see the Power 5 breakaway, the Power Football create their own kind of conference and whatnot. Make their own deals, do all these different kind of things. Okay, if they do that, is there some kind of, do you cease to be responsible to fund the other sports? Because if that happens and they kind of go solo in their own entity, then all those other sports just go away.
Who else joined the Big Ten? USC and who?
UCLA.
Okay. Are all the – so for a midweek volleyball game, are they going to fly to Minnesota and back? I mean, people don't think about all this stuff. We think in football terms. Everybody around the country does, from California to Florida. I know SEC is really just football, heavy, but everybody thinks that way. That's exactly why USC and UCLA decided to leave the Pac-12 and go to the Big Ten.
Yeah.
I mean, all the Big Ten's over here and they're way over here. So all those teams from the Big Ten will have to travel out there to them. Is that going to be your tennis teams and your golf teams and all sports that I reeled off on Auburn Blitz today? Is that who? I mean, because a lot of this stuff's played in the middle of the week, man. Softball and baseball. I mean, they have to leave on a Wednesday or a Thursday to get out to a place to play a 3-game series Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I mean, the team's gone basically a week, Andy. Now, I know they diminished academics, and everybody's like, oh, well, they don't really do anything. But seriously, if you leave on a Wednesday, fly out, use that as a travel day, you practice one day on a Thursday, the series starts on Friday. You play Friday, Saturday, Sunday, get on a plane, come back home, get home at Lord knows when.
Yeah.
And then you got to turn around.
Early in the morning on Monday.
Turn around and go to class on Monday. Well, you just missed Wednesday through Friday. I mean, you're going to go to school and then turn around and do it again the next week. I mean, there's a lot more to this than that. That's why I'm saying it looks like football will be – these other sports will compete. Maybe the big three, basketball, football, and baseball, and maybe even softball on the women's side. But outside of that, Andy, I think that's going to be about what you get. And if they decide to create another conference.
Yeah. I think that's probably true.
Or another division. It wouldn't be a conference, just basically a whole other division. And, this is the Power 5 division, whatever you want to say.
Well, I always bring up anytime the discussion, about, well, they ought not play lower level schools or, I say, look, this funds those teams' athletic budget.
But that's going out the door, man.
I don't know how they cease to.
Well, literally, the SEC's about to expand.
Cease to exist.
Well, the SEC's about to expand, Andy. If they go to 9 SEC games, the word on the street is you got to go out, even with 9 SEC games, you got to go out and get 2 formidable non-conference opponents. So there's no room for anybody. There's no room for Troy. There's no room for UAB. There's no room for Southern Miss if you're Alabama and Auburn like there used to be. Because, look, Alabama's going to play Texas this year. Yeah. And Texas is about to be in our conference, so it's changing, man. In the next 3 to 5 years, it's going to be very interesting. We knew that Texas and Oklahoma were going to try to speed up the process of getting in the SEC, and they did. They'll be in the SEC next year. They were not supposed to start until 25, but it's not good for the Big 10. The Big 12. And it's not good for Texas, Oklahoma to hang around in a conference that they've already said they're leaving. So, especially if one of the two win it.
Yeah.
And but you look at it from that standpoint, you had probably the 2 better teams, better colleges in the country athletic-wise to already the strongest conference.
What happens to the Big 12? What happens to the Pac-12? When those 4 teams leave? Do you think they combine in some way?
I think they're going to have to reshape. I know that they're going out. Didn't Central Florida join?
Central Florida, Cincinnati, and one more.
See, I've lost my train of
thought to the Big 12
on all these moves.
Yeah.
They're just picking up the next level teams, to try to fill these spots. But, you're replacing Oklahoma with Central Florida? Give me a break, man. It's apples to oranges. It's not even close. So, Andy, those conferences are probably going to die. And then you got, the anomaly out there in Colorado with Prime. Who knows what he's going to do? They've got a lot of hype, but he's running 51 players off, and he's brought in a bunch. But, who knows what that's going to look like in 2 or 3 years. So, it's a lot of interesting things to follow.
There are a lot. And it's all things that would have never happened 25 years ago.
Not even thought about.
So it's a brave new world.
We were on a text thread today, and I won't mention any details of it, but $3.5 million for a kid that's a sophomore in high school right now. It's about to be a junior, and another team offered him like $350-something thousand. It was like, it's like. I remember when the Albert Means of the world and those guys, $200,000 was a lot of money, and that was under the table, all that. Now it's an open bid war about how you're going to get some of these players. It's mind-blowing where we are.
Well, looking up some of the stats on I think it was on 3. They have all the transfers in and out.
Right.
And beside their names, you have height, weight, where they played, NIL value.
NIL value, that's right.
I mean,
Right.
and it's this guy $89,000.
That's right.
This guy $56,000.
Did you say that? Have you seen the advertisement on Facebook for, and I'm sure every other school does it, but Auburn, it says buy your NIL Auburn baseball jersey with your favorite player. So I guess if you order Ike Irish's jersey, he'll get the money. He'll get a percentage of that money because it's part of the collective, the NIL.
Okay.
So you select who you want. So it says on the ad, buy your NIL Auburn authentic jersey with your favorite player, on there. So here we go. We talked about the Cam Newtons and the Derrick Henrys of the world selling a bunch of number 2 and number 1 jerseys. And all of a sudden now, here you go.
Here you go.
They're going to get to pay. They're going to get the money for those jersey sales.
We got to take another break, but hour number 2 of Sports Blitz Live is on the way right after this.
Now at Glenn Smith and Opelika, GMC Sierra 4x4 crew cabs discounted up to $10,000 off. GMC Acadia is up to $5,500 off. And Buick Encore GX up to $5,000 off. Shop online anytime at glennsmith.com. That's GLYNN Smith.com. Plus, no payments for 90 days at Glenn Smith Buick GMC.
Over 250 new and used vehicles on the lot or on the way to Glenn Smith and Opelika. Get ready to smile.
The Alabama Slammer. It's a popular drink at parties, but drink too many and you'll wind up in this Alabama Slammer. And if you drink and drive, get ready for a real Alabama Slammer. If you're involved in a crash where a driver's been drinking, you're 4 times more likely to die.
Drive safe, Alabama. A message from your Alabama Department of Transportation.
There's only one clear choice in the Lake Martin area for plumbing, heating, and air. That's All Clear Plumbing and Air. Our professionally trained technicians offer full-service repair and installation on all major brands. From drips to water heaters, thermostats to entire air conditioning and heating systems, and everything in between. Our fast, reliable, and guaranteed top-notch customer service will keep you informed and up to speed through the entire process. Call us today or look for us on Facebook and Instagram at All Clear Plumbing and Air, 256-496-2056. License number 19172.
If you haven't been to Big B Barbecue in Alex City, then you're missing the best barbecue around. Big B has everything from the best pulled or chopped pork, chicken, and beef to cheeseburgers and grilled chicken salads. Bring your friends and family out for a great dinner and sit outside on our beautiful patio, or sit inside and enjoy your meal by the fireplace. So come in and join us and enjoy the best barbecue in the area only at Big B Barbecue, located on Highway 22 West in Alex City.
Hi, this is Jimmy Gorey at Gorey's Furniture. Come join us for the madness of March. Come join us here at Gorey's Furniture. Make a purchase, shoot from the line, 5, 10 to 15. That's % discount off your total ticket. So come join us. Let's have some fun. Everyone's a winner. Everyone will save. Come join us for the madness of March, and that's only at Gorey's Furniture.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area a team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with a service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Bice. Bice Motors.
Welcome back, everyone, to Sports Blitz Live, hour number 2. Thank you so much for all of you out there being with us tonight. Brought to you each and every Tuesday evening by JR Sports Bar and Grill and Sunshine Heating and Air. This segment brought to you by Ellick City Marine. So thank for all of our sponsors out there.
Summertime is coming.
Yes, it is. I'm sure that everybody's getting their boat
It's
cleaned
time
up
to go.
And
got some comments coming in. Andy said, let's see. Anthony said, came across a salty USC Pac-12 fan on 24 Sports Facebook page. The post was about SEC college football. This guy was talking about how good the Pac-12 was based on high school football in California. Okay, you can have it, your high school out there. Mark said baseball and softball suffer if more doubleheaders are scheduled to shorten travel times. Definitely hurts their records. Again, what changes will be made to accommodate travel and expense? Hey, and look, if you thought these programs were losing money now, wait till you add all this in. Wait till you add in multiple cross-country trips during the year and during the season for all these teams. How much of a hemorrhage of money is that going to be?
You might see the Alabamas, Auburns, and LSU's buy 747 just to fly everybody everywhere.
Could do it. Anthony said, shout out to my Mustangs for sweeping Hillcrest on the road. That was a monster series win for Stanhope. And not that they had to win that series to prove that they've been great all year, but to go to Hillcrest in the third round and win that series. He said, I was at the game with some friends, great environment. Stanhope will be hosting Spanish Fort tomorrow in the semifinals. And Spanish Fort beat Saraland in I'm telling you, man, heartbreaking fashion for Saraland. 2 1-run games. It came down where Saraland blew the lead twice. But Spanish Fort moves on. And
so we did it down to the finals?
Down to the semifinals. So, again, Stanhope, to me, has been maybe the best team in 6A all year. They'll have a chance to prove it. They got to get one more series win to get to the championship series in a couple weeks. So, coming down to terms in high school baseball and softball, soccer too. Let me add this, Andy. For all our locals. I know spring football has started for most teams throughout the state, and I think you get 10 practice days, and if you play a game, that counts as one of the games. Benjamin Russell will be traveling to Gardendale on May the 20th. That's a Saturday at 2 p.m. We will broadcast that game on the NFHS network and right here on the radio. A Gardendale Rocket team that, they had Kelby Collins last year. It's at Florida. It's a defensive end expected to play this year for them. Big time recruit out of the state of Alabama. Gardendale's got a kid, I can't remember his name, on the offensive line that's already committed to play baseball at Auburn.
Really?
So Gardendale was a great program. And, Benjamin Russell returning, man.
Offensive lineman? Another Sonny DeShera?
I don't know how big he is. A lot of times in high school, you can be one of those lean guys.
That's true.
But I don't know. I haven't seen. But for the most part, these are going to be 2 really good 6A teams playing in a spring game. I wouldn't be shocked if they met each other in the playoffs.
Do you go all out for a half?
I'm sure I don't know what they're going to decide to do, but I do think the ones will go for at least 1 quarter. Probably 2, because sometimes depending on the clock, you may not get but a couple possessions. So I know they want to, and then I would expect in the second half you let everybody play.
Why not? Well, speaking of baseball, Auburn and Alabama both coming off big time wins. Alabama takes 2 or 3 from Vandy after they get their coach fired. Maybe Bohannon was keeping them back. I don't know. But
they played pretty good with him there. They'd already won over 30 games, and again, just what a bonehead. And we ain't even talked about that. And just some things
still investigating. Just sounds
enough for Alabama to say get lost.
Yeah.
So it must be pretty definitive evidence, according to what Alabama thinks.
Yeah.
For him to be fired, because if he ended up not doing anything, got fired, then he could sue or whatever. I hadn't heard from him. Nobody's.
No, he's in hiding, it sounds like.
I'm sure lawyers have told him not to say anything.
Or he may be in Vegas. I don't know.
Could be.
Auburn coming off
some free time.
Taking 2 of 3 from the number 1 team in the country, LSU. They dropped to number 2 because of that. But Auburn's now won 3 series in a row. Mississippi State, South Carolina on the road, who was number 3, and LSU at home. Auburn playing like one of the best teams in the country all of a sudden. They've gotten some we always talk about development of players. I mentioned this on Monday. Tommy Vale and Christian Herberholtz both in the bullpen when the season started.
I'm going to tell you, Herberholtz on that Sunday game really just
he was good.
What a great job. And, of course, LSU.
How about the Drew Nelson?
Oh, yeah.
The freshman coming in 3 innings and saying, settle down, Corny.
Yeah.
I'll just close this thing out.
Look, they've matured. This pitching staff has had to be reworked, moved around. You know, there was guys that everybody thought was going to be pitching that aren't pitching, and losing your number 1 guy would hurt any team. But
and we lost Tommy Sheehan too.
That's what I'm saying.
He was probably number 2.
That's what I'm saying. He's a guy that a lot of people had high expectations for this year too. So, look. Another wonderful coaching job by Butch Thompson. What can you say? You lost Tim Hudson too, to take him out of the dugout, and what he probably meant to that team. So to be sitting here with a chance with 4 more wins to finish the season, there's no way 5 weeks ago, Andy, I would have said Auburn would have finished 500 in SEC play.
We were wondering if we were going to make the SEC tournament.
Exactly. So. Ole Miss, Mississippi State, and Missouri are trying to make sure that nobody has to worry about that. Yeah. Now, we don't need to go on the road this weekend and lay an egg against a team that's won 6 conference games. But, again, it'll be tough on the road. It'll be a raucous crowd. Crazy thing about it is Ole Miss's coach was on the verge of being fired. They catch lightning in a bottle, win the national championship, they extend his contract and give him a raise. They're right back in the tank again, right where they were last year.
It doesn't make a lot of sense. But baseball is a funny sport. I mean, you can get hot. I mean, I think about the Florida Marlins, that year in 2003, I guess it was. They got hot and went and beat the Yankees in the World Series. They were not. I mean, they had pieces. But
for roster comparable to what the Yankees had, it wasn't even close.
But it's just, if everybody starts doing their job.
It's pitching, Andy. It really – and look, Auburn, when was the last time you could say Auburn had 6 guys in the lineup hitting over 300?
97, maybe?
I mean, really. Auburn is hitting the ball at a fever pitch. And so – now the pitching's settling down, starting to kind of get in a groove, and guys are getting comfortable with their roles. Man, it's like the guy said on the SEC Network last night on the show that I was watching. He said, you don't want to draw Auburn right now, man. Not with the way they're playing. So,
and whoever ends up with them in their regional is like, oh.
Well, Auburn could host a regional.
They could.
You go 15.
You sweep these 2 teams, which is not out of question.
That's not out of question. And then you go in the SEC tournament, make noise, and you got series wins against LSU and South Carolina?
Yeah. Up against another break here. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more right after these messages.
Continental Roofing is your local roofer. If you think you have roof damage, call Continental Roofing for a free inspection and let us provide all the paperwork necessary to open your insurance claim. We work very well with all insurance companies, but we work for you. Your interests come first. You have assurance that Continental will install a quality roof at a fair price. In the unlikely case that you have a warranty issue, you can have the peace of mind knowing that Continental Roofing is your local roofer.
Life is a sequence of little successes. The story of my Southern Union success began the day I walked on campus, making new friends, mastering a new skill, reaching a personal goal, the encore performance, the first date, the internship, and now, soon, the dream job. That's the story of my Southern Union success. Register for classes. and get ready to watch your Southern Union story come to life.
If you're tired of the same old and you're hungry for something really good, then it's time to go to JR's Sports Bar and Grill. JR's has the best fingers and wings around, and their menu is loaded with appetizers, burgers, salads, and so much more. Follow JR's on their Facebook to keep up with their live music events and drink specials. And if after a long day you just want to stay in, remember JR's delivers. Call in your order at 256-329-2328. JR Sports Bar and Grill, 145 Alabama Street in Alexander City.
They say we live in an age of big data, where computers and fancy algorithms are supposed to know you best. But at Country Financial, we know helping you own your future requires, well, something much bigger. Contact your local Country Financial representative and start planning for your future with a personal touch.
When you need an automotive hero, you got to call S&S Discount Tire Pros. With locations in Alexander City and Dayville, we are here to serve you today. From quick services like oil changes and tire rotations to in-depth automotive repairs such as suspensions, brakes, and tune-ups, S&S can take care of all your tire needs. You just have to focus on what's important and love the drive. Call S&S Discount Tire Pros today. We are automotive heroes, and we are here to serve you.
Way to Glenn Smith Chevrolet. Check out the powerful new Chevrolet Silverado 4-wheel drive crew cab, discounted up to $9,750 off. New Chevy Traverse up to $5,250 off. Shop online anytime at glennsmith.com. That's GLYNN Smith.com. Plus, no payments for 90 days at Glenn Smith Chevrolet.
Over 250 new and used vehicles on the lot or on the way to Glenn Smith and Opelika. Get ready to smile.
Welcome back, everyone, to Sports Blitz Live. Andy and Brett here with you. Only about 45 more minutes left in tonight's show. Give us a call, 256-234-6221, or leave us a message on our Sports Blitz Facebook page at Sports with a
We've had a lot of
Z.
comments come in tonight, and again, appreciate everybody out there. I thought some good points brought up about thinking about how all this travel is going to work out. Again, you brought up what I talked about on the Auburn Blitz today about LSU releasing that information in 2016-17. They had 3 sports that were in the black, and then everybody else was in the red. And really, football, almost 57 million. The other sports combined lost 23 million.
You say that every year. They'll put out how much the athletic department money they generated, and they'll usually break it down. But all you'll really ever see is football.
That's right.
You might see baseball, you might see basketball, but I've often wondered just how much are these sports losing. That is a eye-opening.
Well, and now I'm gonna say this, and I will say that is a little deceiving because, but it still goes as a loss in the column. But most of that is a budget number. Okay, so it said women's basketball lost $4 million. Well, they probably budgeted for women's basketball. So women's basketball spent their budget up. They didn't bring anything in above and beyond. They didn't bring in a positive revenue. They just used their budget allocated by the school. So you gotta think about it that way.
Yeah.
It's still a cost. It's still a real cost because the school has to pay for all that stuff.
Sure.
So, and you got to balance your budget. But let's just say LSU's, since we're talking about LSU, their whole athletic budget's, $75 million. And LSU, and they allocate X number for LSU too, obviously. But LSU brings in a surplus of $56 million above what the budget is. They got money to play with, so now that doesn't look as bad. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And even the surplus they brought in still made enough money for them to clear about $20-something million. But what you see in the men's tennis, women's tennis, swimming and diving, cross country, track and field, all that. That's LSU or Auburn or Alabama saying, okay, you get $2 million in your budget this year. And if they don't bring anything in, they just spend that money.
Well, I wonder how they generate any money at all.
Well, I don't know that they can, because some of that stuff, there's no gate.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no ticket sales. And if their word would be so minuscule, it wouldn't matter. So a lot of those sports are naturally going to be, they're going to be in the red every year because the way it's set up. They don't have major TV contracts. There is no split of profits. There isn't, like you said, and like I said, not enough people attendance to draw a crowd to sell tickets. So there's no really true revenue stream to come in for those sports.
I wonder how much of a difference or how much of a revenue stream SEC Network Plus has been showing nil about every baseball game. Nil about every softball game.
Isn't that awesome, though? I mean,
I
to be able to flip on and, back when you and I were coming through school, I mean, it was rare to ever see a college baseball game outside of Omaha.
Yeah.
But now, all the regionals are showing all that. But now you can go watch Auburn play UAB or Alabama play Sanford in the middle of the week because the SEC Network is going to cover the game. And, it's no different in high school now with NFHS Network, with the schools having the opportunity to broadcast those games on their own network if you're part of that network. So, all of our broadcasts, the camera's there, and it's our broadcast going out for Benjamin Russell. But, I mean, now you can pull up some of these bigger schools, Andy, they broadcast every sport.
Yeah.
Every single sport. So you can tune into that channel, and if somebody's playing, if there's a wrestling match going on, you can watch a wrestling match.
It's amazing how much difference or the TV contracts make. I mean, it's not selling a lot of tickets, selling out. That's wonderful,
right?
And selling concessions and all that. That's wonderful.
But there's a lot of
that
cost.
Doesn't even.
That's a lot of cost involved in that too. This TV stuff, man, that is where the real.
And it's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger.
That's exactly right. I mean, the exposure and, the Final Four. You look at you look at how much the NCAA tournament brings in every year. I mean, just
funds the entire NCAA budget.
Well, it's well over $1 billion that it brings in. So, I mean, with a B.
Yeah.
Not millions, billions.
Yeah.
So, and it may be a lot greater than that. That's just, a rough estimate. So, a lot of money in college and even high school athletics.
Now, $1 billion don't go quite as far as it used to.
No, it doesn't. Well, nothing does.
No.
How far does that $10 bill in your wallet go now?
I won't even buy you a double cheeseburger at Wendy's. Value.
Well, I had my son and a couple of his buddies were doing something, and they were trying to help one of their buddies. It was at work, and he said, "Hey man, grab me something when you go over here." And he gave him a $10 bill, and he said, "What do you want with that?" He said, "You better be digging in there finding some more money to add to this if you're going to order what you want." And I mean, but that's the truth.
Have we gotten to the point, have we gotten so old that we look back and think, I remember I never spent more than $5 to go eat fast food.
Oh, buddy, they sprinted by that.
I know.
I mean,
that's what's
$5.
Do you remember those days,
Oh,
right?
I do remember those days. They're way in the past. Way in the past.
Buddy.
Well, when you're paying a worker at a fast food restaurant $18 an hour.
Yeah.
The meal price has got to go up, right? So,
somebody don't want to lose money.
I saw on the door of a restaurant a couple weeks ago, hiring cash register attendant, $18 an hour. $18 an hour at a restaurant. Hey, man.
Just to work the cash
register.
register.
To work the cash register. Just to get people's money.
If you can count, you can do this job.
What the cash register does, you ain't got to count. Most people are paying with a card.
If you can swipe this card.
You don't even have to swipe it. They swipe it. You really just need to stand there. There's nothing to do.
See, back in the old days when I worked at Harco, you had that.
Harco.
We had that.
Jesus.
If they wanted to pay with a card, you had to put it in this manual thing and
you'd slide it back and forth. That carbon
and it made
paper.
a carbon copy.
Good.
That's how old I am.
Boy, you've gone back so
I'm
far
telling
now that I've even almost forgotten.
We got to take a break, but don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more Sports Blitz Live right after this.
WF Cabinetry in Alex City has immediate openings for first and second shift production roles in addition to immediate openings for Class A CDL drivers with the ability to be at home weekly. We're ready for you to join our family and grow with us. Prior cabinet experience is always welcome. Second shift offers a flexible 10-hour, 4-day work schedule, giving you a great work-life balance right here at home. WF Cabinetry offers excellent health insurance and 401k benefits as well as an employee purchase discount with daily production bonus opportunities. You can apply in person at 2212 Airport Boulevard in Alexander City or call 256-234-7900.
Have you stopped by Lifesavers Mission Thrift Store lately? If you haven't, you should. You'll find great pieces for your favorite do-it-yourself project. Lightly used name brand clothing by Free People, North Face, Matilda Jane, Patagonia, and a whole lot more. And while you're there, don't miss the shoes, decorative pieces, classic and new books, and Auburn and Alabama gear that won't cost you a fortune. So stop and shop at Lifesavers Mission Thrift Store today for a unique thrift experience that won't break the budget. Lifesavers Mission Thrift, located on East University behind Zaxby's.
OGS Tournaments. Russell Marine and State Farm agent Aaron Warren present Crank for Bank 2023, April 1st through July 4th. Win over $1.5 million in cash and prizes. Over 200 tag bass and 50 tag crappie are waiting on you. All ages are welcome. Fish from the dock, boat, or shores of Lake Martin. Get registered now online at crankforbank.com for only $110 for 13 weeks of fishing. It's Crank for Bank 2023.
Heritage South Credit Union in Alexander City is your community credit union, and they have been for over 80 years. Heritage South Credit Union proudly serves Tallapoosa, Coosa, Lee, Chambers, Randolph, and Chilton counties. From checking to business accounts, to share savings to club accounts, to their kids club and investments. Visit them online at myhscu.com. Heritage South Credit Union, your community credit union for 80 years. Federally insured by NCUA.
Planting season is here, and the Potting Shed Garden Center is happy to give you professional landscaping advice when it comes to planting your shrubs and trees. Auburn's best kept secret will have it all this fall. Mums, pansies, pumpkins, and much more. All in an array of colors and sizes, along with beautiful pots and containers, indoor plants, and a great selection of other gardening gifts. It's all at the Potting Shed Garden Shop, where natural elements reign supreme. Located on the corner of Moore's Mill and Society Hill Road in Auburn.
Hey, I'm Jeff Burke, General Manager here at Greenway Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Anniston, where it's Ram Truck Month. Save up to $12,176 off Ram 1500 Crew Cab Bighorn. That's a savings of 20%. Or select 1.9% interest for 72 months and save over $13,500 in interest. So come see us for all these deals and more here at Greenway Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Anniston.
Welcome back, everyone, to Sports Blitz Live. Andy and Brett here with you. Only about 30 more minutes left in tonight's program. Major League Baseball, the Braves are off to a red-hot start, 24-11. They're playing the Red Sox tonight. When I left the house, they were up 4-0. I don't know what the score is now. I have to check on that.
Do you ever watch Frank the Tank on Saturday Down South? Or Barstool? I'm not Saturday Down South. Barstool.
I don't think so.
He's a rabid Mets fan. You just got to go pull it up because, I mean, it's complete disaster every day for him.
Yeah.
He talks about how they suck and just, you know, this a lot of expletives I can't use. But, I mean, it just – and he's right.
Well,
I mean,
the moves they've made, they were hoping for a lot better than 17 and 18.
Yeah, they're not – the Braves are – man, they're pulling away from everybody, man. I mean, this may not be a race coming down the stretch if things keep up. Here's the thing about the major leagues: surprise teams. Number one, the Orioles in that division. First of all, that division, 22-13. You
turned
upside
down.
Well, it did 22-13.
Besides the Rays,
the Rays, the year they're having. They are 29-7. The Blue Jays are 21-14. They're 7.5 games out of first. All right, where did the Orioles come from? Where did the daggum Pirates come from?
The Pirates, yeah.
Both teams have been horrific.
The Pirates have been really young. They've done it the right way.
Now they've got some.
They've brought up a lot of their own prospects from farm leagues. So maybe, just maybe, they're starting to mature, and that maybe.
Andy, how bad is the A's?
Yeah,
they need to make another money ball.
14 games out.
They ain't won but 8 games,
and we're still in. Oh my goodness!
This team's horrible. I mean, nobody's even close to them is bad. I mean, the Royals kinda, but God, man, the A's. When you're 14 games out and you just started May, I'd probably just go ahead and.
Well, the Braves took their first baseman and their catcher.
Right.
2 best players, probably, I guess.
In the West, we haven't even talked about this. The Dodgers, of course, they're the D-backs, man, in second. Only a half game out. So the Padres, a little disappointing. I mean, 18-17. Of course, they beat us. I say us because we're Braves. But beat the Braves 2 out of 3. But then the Braves came back. Didn't they play them again?
They did in San Diego.
In San Diego.
And took 2 of 3.
And took 2 of 3, so it kind of evened that out.
Actually, they took 3 of 4 in Atlanta. So
they did. So, yeah. But the Padres with Machado and then getting Tatis back and then picking up Soto and the lineup they got to be – now, again, we're still way early, and they're by far in the race, only 2.5 games out. That team could definitely catch fire. That'd be a team to watch.
But the Cardinals – 12 and I can't remember ever seeing the Cardinals dead last in the Central.
They're horrible.
I mean, 9 games back, 12-24.
Yeah,
that's shocking.
Yeah, they have like you said, there's a lot of these divisions that have flipped upside down, and that's definitely one of them. The Brewers have been pretty consistent at the top. I don't know that the Cubs can make any noise.
Is David Ross still the manager there?
Yeah. Okay. So. I mean, I don't know what ends up being of them, but again, for us Braves fans, man, what a great start! 24-11, and up. John said up 8-2 on the Sox now in the 7th inning.
Nice.
This team hits, man. Again, I think the Braves. You talked about the Pirates doing it right. I think the Braves have done it right too. You know, they go out and get Michael Harris and bring in. I mean, young, and a lot of people were. The Freddie Freeman trade with Olsen, I know you said you brought that up, but I mean, I think it worked out.
Hey, look, I mean, if you would have told me, that really you're not going to miss Freddie all that much,
right?
I'd have said there's no way. I'm telling you, man, Matt Olson.
Well, the difference to me is Austin Riley really became the hitter everybody thought he could be. Early on he was a 220, 230 hitter, and now he's a 270, 280 hitter with a lot of power and a consistent guy. And
Acuna's coming.
Acuna's just on another level.
Yeah,
man. He's phenomenal if he can stay healthy. John said Sean Murphy too coming in.
Unfortunately, they had to put Freed on the IL. Call it the IL now, not the DL, but the IL. It always makes me nervous when they say forearm anything. But forearm soreness. I think it's better to have soreness than tightness.
Right.
But anyway, you got Wright on the IL. You got Freed on the IL.
You don't want to start getting bitten by the injury bug in your pitching staff.
But they've got some good guys. I mean, Bryce Elder. I think isn't that Elder? He's been pitching well.
Of course, Strider.
That Dodd.
Strider, man. Man, he almost had a no-hitter the other night. And then he gave up like 3 hits in a row. So that really wasn't much drama after that. But if you can stay away from injuries, I mean, this is probably going to be a team to be dealt with for sure. But I'm gonna tell you, man, the Rays right now, good Lord. I mean, can they keep?
They're on attack.
Can they keep this up? I mean, they're gonna hit a stretch, But
we know the Yankees started out last year. And we're just phenomenal.
God, the Yankees are dead last.
Which doesn't hurt my feelings at all.
Nah, I knew you wouldn't be sad about that. Mark said if they had put an Auburn football jersey on LSU head baseball coach Sunday, you would have a single picture that summed up the entire Harsin era. I don't know, Mark. I guess I don't know, maybe just a collapse or whatever. Possibly. You might have to clarify that. It's probably us.
Have
Mark,
you ever seen Butch Thompson so angry? Did you see that?
After last week on the interview, the first thing I said when he hung up, I said, you know what? That's the most even-keeled guy. I'm like, that guy never gets mad. I said it. Go back and replay. I said he never gets mad. And dadgum, man, he lost his mind.
I don't know what the deal was, but, I mean, they threw somebody out.
Well, I think
at LSU.
just the fact that you were stopping the play and the umpires didn't take control of the situation, and it was stopping the game, and he's like, can you just tell the guy that you threw out to leave and quit stopping the game and quit going back and forth and all this? But I did follow up and say, you got to watch the quiet ones.
Yeah.
The guys that you could go up and kick in the crotch or slap in the face and they wouldn't get mad at you. But whenever they do get set off, they'll clean the room out.
You never know what's going to set them off.
But when they do, man, it is terrifying.
Well, that night that it rained in Nashville.
He lost it.
And he lost it because they wouldn't stop it, and he was afraid the pitcher was going to get hurt.
Imagine that, Auburn having a pitcher get hurt.
Yeah, really. But that's those two times, that's the maddest I've ever seen him. Most animated I've ever seen him.
But you know what? I think that helped Auburn win that game the other night.
Yeah.
You know, I think it kind of energized.
I was wondering maybe if he was trying to get
Hey, by the way, Saturday night, 8 o'clock start, almost a 4-hour game. Good Lord.
I didn't see the end of it.
It ended at 11:40. It started at 8 o'clock. I mean, you almost made it to midnight, dude. So, I mean, you're 20 minutes shy of a daggum. I mean, that's horrific. So
let's go ahead and take another break. We'll be back. Only a couple more segments left in tonight's show. We'll be back with more right after this.
Ladies and gentlemen, the story you're about to hear is true, and the names have been changed because Brubaker Motors has sold to Sons Automotive. You heard right. Brubaker CDJR is now Sons Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram of Montgomery. Furthermore, Sons Automotive is a family business with dealerships throughout the Southeast. The name Sons Automotive is synonymous with trust, and they care about the communities they're a part of. They're excited to serve the River region, and in the interest of justice, you will be served a sentence of big savings. Sons CDJR of Montgomery, family owned, family driven.
At C&T Electric, our clients are our priority. For the safety and security of your family and home, our technicians are professionally trained, drug tested, background checked, and wear uniforms with name tags. We're proud to have served the Elk City, Dadeville, and Lake Martin areas for the past 10 years. Give us a call at 256-234-0007 for all your electrical service and repair needs, or visit us on the web at www.cntelectricllc.com and spell out the word "and."
Have you met your local Farmers Insurance agent, Patrick Holina? He proudly serves Tallapoosa County and Alexander City families and businesses and is ready to review your existing policies or provide a no-obligation quote today. Call the Holina Agency at 256-234-0037 or stop in today at 704 Commerce Drive to get smarter about your insurance. Again, that's the Holina Agency, 256-234-0037.
We are farmers. Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum.
Underwritten by Farmers Truck Fire Insurance Exchanges and Affiliates. Products not available in every state.
The food at Oscar's Cafe makes your mouth water. At Oscar's, enjoy great tasting catfish, or maybe you're just in the mood for one of Oscar's fresh salads. Even kids know the place for a fine meal is Oscar's with a great kids menu. Oscar's also has great tasting burgers full of backyard flavor. So come on out to Oscar's Cafe for great food and homegrown hospitality. We're located on Highway 49 South in Dadeville, just before the Blue Creek Bridge. And remember, it's all fun and games till there's only one cheese ball left.
Life is a sequence of little successes. The story of my Southern Union success began the day I walked on campus. Making new friends, mastering a new skill, reaching a personal goal, the encore performance, the first date, the internship, and now, soon, the dream job. That's the story of my Southern Union success. Register for classes. and get ready to watch your Southern Union story come to life.
OGS Tournaments. Russell Marine and State Farm agent Aaron Warren present Crank for Bank 2023, April 1st through July 4th. Win over $1.5 million in cash and prizes. Over 200 tag bass and 50 tag crappie are waiting on you. All ages are welcome. Fish from the dock, boat, or shores of Lake Martin. Get registered now online at crankforbank.com for only $110 for 13 weeks of fishing. It's Crank for Bank 2023.
Welcome back, everyone, to Sports Blitz Live. Andy Graham and Brett Pritchard here with you for only about 20 more minutes left in tonight's show. Let's do a little rank 'em, and then we'll save the last segment to kind of bounce around a little bit. But I hadn't probably done this in a little while.
We ain't done this in a while.
Today, happy birthday, Billy Joel. Born on this day, 1949. You like the Piano Man?
I do.
Okay.
I like Billy Joel.
I'll get you to rank these. These are random, although if I asked you, how many number one hits does Billy Joel have in his illustrious career?
I couldn't tell you.
Take a wild guess.
How many number ones?
Number one hits.
50.
4.
4. Wow.
Number one hits. Had some great ones.
He had some great songs.
Great songs, but only 4 number one hits on the Billboard 100. Piano Man, not a number one hit, by the way. But Piano Man, still rock and roll to me. Uptown Girl, you can tell I'm an 80s fan. Tell Her About It. And You May Be Right. Rank these Billy Joel songs.
You may be right. Rank these songs. I'm going to go, you probably going to, Uptown Girl last for me.
Really? Yeah. Just because it's got Christy Brinkley in it.
I
the
mean,
video.
All right, so
if we're lumping in the video with it,
I'm gonna go Tell Her About It first, Piano Man second, You May Be Right, Still Rock and Roll, and Uptown Girl. That's my rank in order. So
I would put Piano Man first. There's just something there's such a beautifully written song, and it just kind of flows out. I love you because you can see that guy in that bar, playing the piano. But yeah, I'm not. Uptown Girl probably be last for me too.
Really?
I would do that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Uptown.
You May Be Right might be second. Tell Her About It. Still rock and roll to me, and Uptown Girl probably last. All right, Rosario Dawson, lovely young actress, born on this day, 1979. Rosario Dawson.
Can I tell you, I don't think I've seen any of those. Not a single one.
You have not seen any of these movies?
I didn't like Men in Black. And so I dang sure wasn't going to watch Men in Black 2.
I like the first one.
Rundown. Haven't seen it.
That's The Rock.
I haven't seen it.
It's actually pretty
Sin
decent.
City. Hadn't seen it.
Sin City. That's like one of those comic book type movies. 7 Pounds. Another Will Smith.
No.
Something about he find out
what is
who
Death
wanted
Proof?
to give his organs proof.
What is Death Proof?
That's that Quentin Tarantino. Remember he did The Grindhouse, where there was like a double feature.
There's not many things you could list on here where I say I haven't seen any, but you just nailed that one. So I don't know how to rank any of that.
Officially,
I could. It would be based off of nothing.
Guessing. Officially, the movies are Men in Black 2, The Rundown, Sin City, 7 Pounds, and Death Proof. Apparently, nobody has seen many of these movies.
No. Hey,
I don't think anyone more.
John had a comment that said, hey, Tucker Carlson's new show on air, to air on Twitter, FYI. So, yeah. Hey, look.
Him and Elon.
They are. And, look, Fox, you knew they weren't going to keep him down. They didn't keep Bill O'Reilly down. They didn't. I mean, everybody, there's so many outlets now.
You talk about, Brett.
I know. We don't have enough time to finish.
You just wonder, Do people wake up and say, you know what? I'm going to do the dumbest thing I could possibly do.
I think so.
I mean, that just seems to be the mantra.
Everything in society seems reversed.
From Bud Light to Fox News.
Everything in society seems reversed. It's like, you know, the criminals are protected and the cops are prosecuted.
Yeah.
Because and look, I'm not saying that. And like, look, there's going to be bad cops. There's bad people in every profession, but I mean, it's odd, man, the stance that some people take and how people are just okay with men participating in women's sports just because they wake up one day and decide they want to identify as a woman.
Randy said it best. One of the oddest things that is the fact that conservatives are the ones trying to defend Title IX. Everything's upside down.
It's upside down, man. It's
all right.
upside down.
David Keith. You may not know the name, but have you seen Major League 2?
I have seen Major League 2. Yes.
All right, you know the kind of the nemesis, Jack Parkman.
Yes.
That's David Keith.
Okay, I got you.
All right, so David Keith, born yesterday, actually, 1954. He was in An Officer and a Gentleman.
I've seen that one.
Firestarter,
Firestarter.
a young Drew Barrymore.
Right.
He was her father.
I have not seen Great Santini, but I've seen Men of Honor. So
Major League 2.
I've seen
Great Santini, great movie. Robert Duvall.
I have not seen
Men
that
of
one.
Honor. Back in, I think it was in the 80s, I believe.
Straight out of Batman movies, but real life. John said, the monkeys are on the horses. Hey, I know we don't talk about, I know we're in the middle of this. We're kind of floating around. Man, the Kentucky Derby, boy, it had a bad week, didn't it? 5 horses died. Then another one got hurt during a race.
What happened?
I don't know.
Was it
I don't know.
Some illness?
Hadn't heard. So, of course, PETA came from all corners.
I'm sure.
So,
I didn't even know PETA still existed. All right, rank them. Officer and a Gentleman, Firestarter, Major League 2, Great Santini, Men of Honor.
I'm going to go Officer and a Gentleman, Major League 2, Firestarter, Men of Honor, and I guess Great Santini got to be last for me because I've never seen it before.
Yeah.
But Officer and a Gentleman, number 1 for me.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great movie. No question. I would probably go Major League 2 second. Firestarter, Men of Honor, and
so we're pretty close on that.
Yeah, I mean, Great Santini is a good movie. It's just kind of a drama.
And John said, "I'm sorry, politics over for me."
Yeah.
Well, we try not to dive into that, but it's actually forcing us to on sports shows now because it's so intertwined.
I mean,
it just is what it is.
There's no question, and it amazes me how many women are not.
I'm shocked, man.
So adamantly, and I think that Riley Gaines is the one saying, "Look, you're gonna have to pick a side." And
she's right.
and I think that's true.
Look, I have a daughter, and I'm tremendously supportive of women's athletics and females in athletics, and it's not right, dude. I mean, you can disagree with me out there all you want. You ain't changing my opinion. I don't think it's right. I never will think it's right. I think it's absurd. I think the fact that we even talk about it's absurd. And so you can say I don't believe that for 1 second.
Take out the emotion and the cultural aspect of it, just biologically and the physiology of it. It's not fair.
You can't even have discussions with some people on this, though, Andy, because they're not. I mean, it's impossible.
We'll go ahead and take our last break, but we'll be back with one final segment of Sports Blitz Live right after these messages.
76% of nurses say they went into the profession because they wanted to help patients. No matter the reason you decided to become a nurse, you have all the tools needed to advance your degree at Jacksonville State University. Our Master's in Nursing program is now offered fully online and can be completed in less than 2 years. You can customize a flexible course schedule so you can receive your advanced education degree all while working on the front line. JSU Nursing, your opportunity to advance your career and serve your community.
So, you finally got the boat, ATV, or side-by-side of your dreams, huh? But make it yours with marine-grade audio that'll provide crisp, high-quality sound that's loud enough to be heard, whether you're cruising on the lake or hitting a mud hole. Come see Steve at the Car Stereo Shop in Auburn, so you'll be ready to crank up the volume. Whoa, but wait, you don't have to pull out of the water and trailer it to Auburn. The Car Stereo Shop can handle all of your work at any one of the Lake Martin marinas.
Skag, the toughest name in lawnmowers. Unmatched quality and performance for over 3 decades. The clear choice, the best mower money can buy for work or at home. Top lawn care professionals and discerning homeowners know that Skag means productivity and reliability. Every Skag mower is proudly built right here in the USA. Don't settle for anything less than simply the best. Skag.
Satterfield Outdoor Living on Highway 280 in Alex City.
At Russell Medical, we're proud of our exceptional nurses, like Nurse Brandy Worthy. Brandy represents the selfless, compassionate clinical leader patients expect and coworkers admire. Brandy was recently honored with the Nightingale Award for Nursing Excellence for her high standards, sound judgment, and caring manner. Her passion for her profession inspires us all.
Being a nurse is not just what you do, it's who you are. I'm proud to be a part of the nursing team at Russell Medical. We are the link between all hospital services, providing you with exceptional, personalized care.
If you're tired of the same old and you're hungry for something really good, then it's time to go to JR's Sports Bar and Grill. JR's has the best fingers and wings around, and their menu is loaded with appetizers, burgers, salads, and so much more. Follow JR's on their Facebook to keep up with their live music events and drink specials. And if after a long day you just want to stay in, remember JR's delivers. Call in your order at 256-329-2328. JR Sports Bar and Grill, 145 Alabama Street in Alexander City.
Continental Roofing is your local roofer. If you think you have roof damage, call Continental Roofing for a free inspection and let us provide all the paperwork necessary to open your insurance claim. We work very well with all insurance companies, but we work for you. Your interests come first. You have assurance that Continental will install a quality roof at a fair price. In the unlikely case that you have a warranty issue, you can have the peace of mind knowing that Continental Roofing is your local roofer.
Welcome back, everyone, to the final segment of Sports Blitz Live on this Tuesday evening. Andy and Brett taking you up to 9 o'clock here. Don't forget, Alabama softball in action tomorrow. They will take on the winner of Missouri and Mississippi State. That game played earlier tonight. Not sure who won that game, but they will play Alabama 4 o'clock tomorrow on the SEC Network. And then on Thursday, Auburn will take on the winner of Ole Miss and LSU at 10 o'clock in the morning on Thursday. That will be on the SEC Network as well. So,
and Ty said Auburn and Sanford got rained out tonight.
And Auburn and Sanford got rained out. They were supposed to play at the Hoover Met, which is where the SEC tournament will be taking place. So, unfortunately, Auburn not getting a chance to kind of get a feel for the stadium. But
right.
Oh, well.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. Yeah, so you carry anything? You watching NBA playoffs?
I am. Well, I watched the playoffs. Man, the Warriors last night blew it. I'm not a Lakers fan.
No.
But I think the Nuggets-Suns a great series. Kevin Durant versus Jokic. I mean, plus there's plenty of good players on both teams to go around. I like the Celtics. I like that series. That's fun. I have not watched any of the Miami Knicks the Knicks and Heat series. That's totally not interesting to me. But the other three have been pretty good.
The 8 seed up 3-1.
Yeah, I think they'll win it now.
Of course,
I think the Lakers now are going to beat the Warriors because it's
Lakers
just a tall
7
task.
seed. They liable to win it.
Right, it's a tall task.
They are going to be at home tomorrow night. So the Warriors.
Right.
So they'll, game 5.
Right.
So they'll have a chance to get it back to 3-2. But then they'll have to go to L.A. and win if they can win at home. I don't know. we'll see. Who's your pick to win it all?
Man, if I had to go with somebody right now, I know this is crazy, but I'm either going to go with I'm going to go with the team that comes out of that 76 or Celtics series.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Whoever emerges out of that, I think is going to win it.
James Harden playing kind of throwback, playing well for the Sixers.
Oh, yeah. 45 the other night.
Yeah.
Then came back with like 13. That's just so
Which is
odd.
typical.
It's just so odd in NBA basketball, man, just how you can lose by 40 one game and come back and win by 30 the next. I mean, just crazy. So.
Well, that was, the Lakers and the Warriors.
That's it. Same thing.
And that's been going on in NBA basketball for forever. They talk about when the Celtics and the Lakers were playing, I guess it was 85 maybe, when they had the massacre, the Boston Massacre.
The Boston Massacre.
They just obliterated the Lakers. Lakers came back and won the series.
That's right.
I mean, and from what I understand,
could we see another Lakers Celtics? I mean, that's always
That'd
a classic, isn't
it? It seemed like I remember I watched a documentary on that next day, Pat Riley came in, and apparently Kareem had a bad game that in Boston, and he went through every play and went through and just lambasted Kareem and pointed out every lazy and bad play that he made, and Kareem never said a word. He just sat there and took it, and in the next game
and used that.
He went out and had about 30 and 15.
There you go.
That's.
I like Jason. I'll say this. I know we got to get out, but Jason Tatum. I like Jason Tatum.
Okay.
I'd like to see him finally do something with Boston. So we'll see.
Yeah. If I got to pick, I'd go with Boston. I wouldn't mind seeing that. That's going to pretty much wrap it up for us on this edition of Sports Blitz Live. Thank you so much for all of you out there being with us. Be sure to tune in to the Auburn Blitz tomorrow, 12 o'clock noon. For Brett Pritchard, I'm Andy Graham saying so long for now. We'll talk again soon.
Farmers and Merchants Bank of Dadeville is building a foundation of strength and trust in the entire Lake Martin community. With our modern branch in Dadeville and caring, attentive staff, we've established Farmers and Merchants Bank as a reliable friend to your banking needs. Whether it's just a savings or checking account or any commercial, auto, or real estate loan, Farmers has local decision-making to build a relationship with you and your needs. Farmers and Merchants Community Bank. Strength, service, community.
So you want to build a home? Build the home you want with America's Home Place. Choose from over 150 floor plans, then personalize. Tile backsplash with granite countertops? Done. A spacious bathroom you've always dreamed of? You got it. Choose every detail, floors, cabinets, even the paint color.
How about electric lime?
Can't decide? Relax. At America's Home Place, we take care of it all. It's your home. Own it. America's Home Place.
Are you looking for something really good for lunch? Are you tired of the same old fast food? Well, go to Buck's. Get a meat and 2 sides or a meat and 3 sides for the best deal in town. Buck's always serves up the best food, including fried chicken, wings, hamburger steaks, catfish, shrimp, and yes, of course, the famous Buck Cheeseburger Basket. And Buck's has dinner specials too. So if it's your turn to cook dinner, Buck's will be glad to do it for you. We appreciate your business and look forward to serving you.
Why is Sarah Automotive Group on Highway 280 in Sylacauga the place for the best deals on your new ride? 3 compelling reasons. 1, with 3 full new car dealers on one lot, you get the best in comparison and incentives on Fords, Hondas, and Nissans. Unmatched selection. 2, Sarah pays over market value for your trade to maintain East Central Alabama's best pre-owned vehicle selection and sale. And 3, the Sarah Automotive price won't be beat and delivers lower payments and huge value on your next buy. Shop online or on Highway 280 in Sylacauga. Have you met your local Farmers Insurance agent, Patrick Holina? He proudly serves Tallapoosa County and Alexander City families and businesses and is ready to review your existing policies or provide a no-obligation quote today. Call the Holina Agency at 256-234-0037 or stop in today at 704 Commerce Drive to get smarter about your insurance. Again, that's the Holina Agency, 256-234-0037.
We are farmers. Bum, ba, dum, bum, 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 bum.
Underwritten by Farmers Truck Fire Insurance Exchanges and Affiliates. Products not available in every state.
Coastal Construction Design is the area's storm specialist experts and offers free roof inspections absolutely free to assess your needs. Their roofing experts get your home or commercial needs handled from start to finish. They have worked with all major insurance sources for decades, and they are permitted and approved for Lake Martin. Coastal Construction Design also handles exterior restoration, including siding and gutters. They are also a GAF certified contractor. Visit coastalconstruction.pro or call 251-215-3429. Coastal Construction Design. All things roofing from start to end.